NBA fans, welcome back. Sixers fans, this one is for you. I'm going to break down every single Eastern Conference and Western Conference first round matchup and put them out periodically for the next couple of days. I'm going to make all of the videos right now. So if I'm wearing the same exact outfit, I don't want to hear it, dude. I made all of the videos at the same time. I don't wear the same thing every day. I do. But like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the family, join the community. Now's the time. It's playoff time, ladies and gentlemen. I have to get to a Sixers first round matchup before they lose in the second round, as they always do. Hint, the Sixers will make the second round. Let's talk about the Sixers-Raptors matchup. And obviously, I have the Sixers in 6. And I have that because I think Embiid is the most dominant player in the NBA right now. And usually when it comes to the playoffs, I pick the team with the best player. Look at Giannis last year. Giannis was the single-handed reason the Bucks won that finals, and he was an absolute god on the court. Now, this is not going to be an easy first-round matchup, but I think it might be an easier second-round matchup for the Sixers if they make it out of the first round. I think the Sixers are up for a very tough round one matchup. I think that because the Raptors are probably the best team in the Eastern Conference when it comes to matching up against the Sixers. A bunch of 6'9", athletic versatility, just a lot of really, really good athletic talent where the Sixers lack the most. That's not news. The Sixers lost the season series 3-1 against Toronto, and I understand that the last game was very ugly. We lost to the Raptors without Fred VanVleet or OG Anunoby. We blew a big lead in the first quarter instantly, and it was ugly. But you know what? It was the 80th game of the season, and that means absolutely nothing. Games at that point of the season are literally a crapshoot. None of it matters. The teams don't come in as prepared. It's more of a relaxed rest break for these players. And you know what? I'm not worried about it. I'm really not worried about it. The Sixers are going to get outcoached. For sure. The Sixers don't nearly have the depth that the Toronto Raptors have. For sure. But you know what the Raptors don't have? They don't have Joel Embiid. And Embiid is going to get his. And he's also going to play more minutes. And he's also going to be a defensive anchor. Because historically, the Sixers' defense is always better in the playoffs because of Embiid's effort on that end. We have put up historical defensive ratings with Joel Embiid on the court. But the only thing is, who's the backup five? Now, Doc Rivers moronically said, as an arrogant SOB in his recent press conference last night after the game, that said Paul Reed is going to basically get minutes against smaller fives. Now, that was not the case for the first 79 games of the season, so I don't know what the hell Doc Rivers is thinking about. Side note, I would love to get Doc fired at any point this season, and I don't care if we win a championship. Do not bring him back. He is a garbage coach. That being said, Paul Reed should be the guy to come off the bench as the backup five in this series because the Raptors are more versatile and more small ball five as most other teams in the NBA. I think that's going to be huge for the Sixers. And no Matisse Thybulle game 3 or 4 at least. But you know what? I don't think that's a huge loss because without him recently, we've noticed that Danny Green is probably the more seamless and better fit in the starting five. He's been playing well. Shake Milton has been incredible lately. And Paul Reed has too. Paul Reed just had 25 points last night and Shake Milton had 30. Now, I'm not going to say that I expect, because I definitely don't, either of those guys to put up points like those. But if Shea can give us like 6 assists a night off the bench, we win that game. If Paul Reed can just play instead of DeAndre Jordan, we win that game. Embiid is going to see more minutes. The Sixers team is just the better team, simply put. And you know what? If the Sixers can't beat the Toronto Raptors in a first-round series, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs at all. I think the Sixers are just the superior team. Now, if we can get Harden to give us a 22-14 night like he did in his last game on 7 of 16 from the field, that's huge. Huge. All we need is a little bit more of aggressive James Harden and just Joel Embiid to be alive. And you know what? I think both of those things are going to come into fruition. And I think Tyrese Maxey is the absolute X factor of this series. And he has been so damn good lately. All season. He's third in the NBA this year in three-point percentage after shooting 30% from three last year. I think the Sixers team is good. Tobias Harris has played much better basketball for the most part as of late. I think this is a tough series for Tobias because they have a bunch of guys they can throw at him, and I think Tobias is going to have a hard series, number one. But that being said, I think the Sixers win this in at least 6, maybe 5, but I would safely say 6 because I just think Joel Embiid, simply put, is the best player on this team, is the best player on the court, is the best player in the series, and is the best player in the Eastern Conference. I think we match up tough against the Raptors, and I think the Raptors match up very well against us, but I just am going to take the team with the best player. Embiid with our defensive rating with him on the court in the playoffs over the past couple of seasons has been number one every single year. In 2019, we had 2018, I want to say, the year that the Raptors won the championship, we had a 96.9 defensive rating, which was, I think, the best of all time. And I would probably fact check that, but from what I saw on Twitter, it was the best ever. And Embiid playing more minutes, being better offensively, being more of a focal point, having no Ben Simmons to clog the paint on him, and just giving out more defensive energy, the Sixers are going to be a better team. And I think Harden is going to be a little bit more aggressive, but at the same time, he is at what he is now so much better than what Ben Simmons brought to us in any other playoff series ever. And I just think the Sixers are going to be way too talented for the Raptors to beat. Maybe this is me just being optimistic, but no matter what, I think we can all agree that Doc Rivers needs to get fired. If we win a championship, if we lose in the first round, it doesn't matter. That man needs to be out. But I expect Paul Reed to be the number one backup 5, and I expect Shake Milton to be continuing to play at the level that he's been playing at. And I will give it a Doc. His rotations have been much better as of late. I think he's realized Furkan Korkmaz should not be in the NBA and should be in Turkey coming off the bench for some Turkish national team. But I think the Sixers team is just too good. I think Harden's going to be very, very good. I think Embiid is going to be the most dominant player on the court, and I don't think that's a crazy stretch to make. I think Tobias is going to struggle. I think Tyrese Maxey is going to be the X factor, and I just don't think that the Raptors have anyone that can guard Tyrese Maxey. Van Vliet's not fast enough, and I don't think there's anyone else on that court that can even continue to try and keep up with him. I think the Sixers win this series. I really, really do, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to definitely try and get out to a game. This is my short little rant on the Sixers series. Sixers, Raptors, Sixers and 6, on to the second round to face the... Gotta watch my video later on. Peace, guys.